all, Stacey the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to your Tarot and Astrology fourth quarter reading for 2024. I'm really excited to be tapping into what is in store for us for October, November, and December, as this has been a wild and wacky year. Lots of momentum, lots of preparation, foundational stuff. And with me, of course, is my favorite cohort, Dwayne, and he's from In the Stars. Dwayne, awesome to have you here again today for our fourth quarter.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I was, as you and I were kind of chatting a little bit before we hit the record button, I was just saying how I'm really interested to see how this fourth quarter is going to pan out, because the third quarter, based on our reading, has really come to pass. And I was amazed at just how accurate some of those talking points were, like, especially in my own life. Major shifts and major transformations, popped up into my world, and it's been a whirlwind of preparation and planning and all the rest of it. So maybe this next quarter is really going to be about the activation of that plan, the enactment of it.
Yeah, I think so. And I think this has all been leading up to 2025, which I think is going to be a huge, amazing year for the whole world. So I think that we're just at the tail end of the preparation of everything and then moving into this amazing year.
Oh, I am so ready for an amazing year. I have to say, 2024 has been much better than the previous 3 years, but it is its own unique brand of chaos. And I want to say, a lot of the unexpected. We've had a lot, and collectively we've had a ton of unexpected, right? And some for better, some for worse. And in that, of course, always trickles down into our individual lives and our choices. So yeah, I'm ready for some amazing. I'll take amazing. I'll sign me up.
It's on its way. I can feel it.
Yeah, well, again, we need that. I really feel as a collective, we need that. Yes, we are co-creators. We're co-creating what it is that we're doing here. And, you can see the reason why there's been so much shift and change. And you can kind of, in hindsight, understand the method to the madness. And at the same time, I don't know about you, but I'm tired. I could really use some coast. I could use some soar. I could use some ease in what is to come. Bring on the change, but bring it on with a little ease. Bring it on with some peace. That's whew. And I mean, I'm the Phoenix, right? I am the Phoenix, so I understand that whole Phoenix process and the transformative experiences that you go through when you are, in a major Phoenix phase. And I can handle it probably better than most. And I'm tired. So if I'm tired with it, people who maybe struggle with that a little bit more, aren't used to it. Oh my God.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's insane. So, okay. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time, we have been doing these readings this year in 2024, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. So click on the link below if you want to catch up on the previous quarters. It's really helpful, even though, it's in the past. It's really helpful to get a broad picture and scope of, I want to say the bigger picture trajectory that we're all on. And let's dive in. This is going to cover October, November, and December. And I'm going to do something slightly different today. I'm pulling one tarot card, one oracle card, and then we are going to do our sweet ass affirmation card at the end for that affirmation that we can use for our greatest success in this quarter. And I'm pulling cards today from the Illuma Tarot, from the Star Temple Oracle, Susie Cherub, And then, of course, our sweet ass affirmations, which we'll do at the end. So tapping into October. Oh, interesting. We have 10 of Swords and we have Maya, the winged messenger, creation, spiritual direction inspires my creative flow. So really feeling here with the 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords is great. A lot of people freak out about 10 of Swords, but it's really great because it is a Phoenix card. It is about rebirth. It is symbolizing this is the end of a cycle, like dead, done, gone, over with, never to return. This is not something that you can try to carry along with you. This is like there's nothing left of the body to bury. There's nothing left but maybe, ashes that you can possibly sweep up into your little basket. And if you really need to, you can take that with you. But 10 of Swords, I feel, is coming through because October is really going to be a month energetically where we do feel a major shift. We are no longer doing what we used to. I feel a lot of this newness energy. And it's interesting because we've got this winged messenger on number 3, which is creation. The card is creation. Spiritual direction inspires my creative soul. Everything that we have had to let go, whether we've let it go and released it intentionally, or whether we've felt a little forced to do it, or that, it was kind of the universal rug being pulled out from under us. All of it now we are seeing or feeling, or we're going to know that it was to be able to give us a blank slate. And it is because we have no choice but to create something new. And anything that we have hung on to for a really long time, we can't do it. And I feel like I've been talking about this for months now. A lot of the energy in the readings coming through with our guides is that we really have to let go of the past. And we have to let go of the past in such a radical way that it often means that we are not focusing at all on, I want to say, even like reflecting on what we've learned from the past. Although that's important to do, the message has been, you can't do anything about it. Where are you at right now? In this moment, where do you want to be? And what steps can you start to take towards that goal? The past doesn't factor into it at all. And when you find yourself this month in a reflective space or looking into the past, I feel like the universe is going to be stepping up. Your guides are going to be stepping up and giving you distraction, putting things in your path so that you don't have the time to reflect on the past. It's going to be quick movement in a new direction. And if you happen to resist, what I feel is the message is what we resist persists. If you try to resist, I feel that it's kind of like getting your coat belt caught in the door as you close it out and the door drives away. And you're being dragged by the car. So avoid that. Like, you don't need, I really feel like this is a strong message. You don't need to go through that. You don't need to suffer. You don't need to go through October kicking and screaming. The universe is saying, listen, it's about creating the new. And what is it that you really want? It's like I don't know why I'm picking up on this, but many, many years ago when Celine Dion first kind of came on the scene and she got big for the first time, and I'm a Canadian, so she's one of our big stars, and so she was always featured in the magazines and whatnot. And there was this thing that came out where for Christmas she sent all of her nieces and nephews a catalog. It was like I think it was a Toys R Us catalog at the time, and said basically like, pick out what you want. And I remember thinking as a child, oh my God, like what an amazing experience and an opportunity. Like there's no limit, there's no boundary. You could literally order the entire catalog, but I wouldn't do that. I would really get excited about it doesn't have to be an either or, it can be a both and. And that's what I feel the universe is bringing to us right now, is it's the both and. But you have to get out of your own way in order to be able to say yes to the both and, to receive it. So for those of you who are, I want to say, adverse to change, that you find a lot of anxiety in change, that the pain of change, you'll avoid it at all costs. You'll choose the pain of staying the same as long as you possibly can, and you go into that change kicking and screaming. My message to you here is it doesn't have to be so. Accept now that this is actually an opportunity for a reset. And I feel like 2020 was the great reset for us collectively. 2024 here, this year and this next quarter, it's the individual reset. This is the opportunity for you to look at your soul blueprint and to say, do I want to continue in the direction and the vein that I've been continuing, or do I want to make something fresh and new? And that's what I feel October is really going to bring. I also love that we have this beautiful angel is holding a globe, and there's all of this air, and I feel like this is going to be sort of astrologically what Dwayne's going to talk about. The air, the electricity, there's a lot. Well, October is a Libra, so there's air, the element of air in the sign. We need to use our intuition, our intellect, but I feel like it's intellectual intuition, right? So you can receive an intuitive hit, and the intuitive hit is cuckoo, and you're like, okay, well, I don't want to go out into the street and shout from the rooftops, whatever it happens to be, but okay, my guides told me to do this. No, it's being intellectual about it. Understand that you can sit with that intuition and allow it to present itself to you, because often it's the potential, often it's the beginning. And then, your guides want you to sit in that a little bit longer and allow it to percolate, allow it to unfold in a way that's going to reveal how you can actually apply it, how you can make it manifest in your life. So I feel that Libran energy, that air element, is really here to assist us, and we need to harness it. Wow, Dwayne, that's
yeah, and it's funny because it's exactly like right along the lines of what I have been feeling and thinking about October, because like you said, October is Libra. It's all about justice, fairness. What you believe that you deserve is going to come to you. On October 8th, the new moon in Libra makes it the perfect time for setting new intentions. And those intentions can have anything to do with really anything, but the overall kind of the overall focus is on relationships, partnerships, social interactions, the way that you deal with other people. And it's a great time to start to realize the things that you've been putting into play all for the rest of the year, the beginning of the year, and allowing it to manifest. On the 11th, we have Mars entering Virgo, which kind of puts more of a work kind of feel to things. So from the 8th to the 11th is the perfect time to set the intentions. Starting on the 11th is the time to really start doing what needs to be done to get that, whatever that intention is, to come to fruition. And then on the 20th, Mercury enters Sagittarius, and that's all about communication. So if you think of it like the beginning of October is set the intention, really see what you believe that you deserve to receive, and then work at it for a couple of weeks, and toward the end of the month of October, around the 20th, that's a time to kind of like, even if you don't talk to someone else about it, talk to yourself about it, write it in a journal, see where you're at, and allow things to kind of manifest, to create themselves, because that's a huge, very magical time. Once we get into Scorpio at the end of October, the 23rd, things can become a little mysterious, and things can become about confronting fears, about shedding old skin and things like that. So October is definitely the time to kind of put your program in and figure out what you want. And toward the end, after the 20th, it is the time to start to shift that into, okay, now how do I deal with everything else around me? How do I deal with what I have left over from, before what I put my intentions out to be? And how do I continue with that? The 28th of October, we have a full moon in Taurus with a lunar eclipse. So that is kind of like a culmination. It's really powerful. And it turns into material possessions, security, values, things like that. So there is a potential here to make anything you want happen in October. If you start at the beginning, you work at it in the middle, and you communicate it at the end and realize it. So I think October is going to be, especially this year, because this year is like a pivotal year. I feel like after 2020, this is like our graduation. We're seniors now of the post-pandemic world, and we're graduating, and we're going into college basically in 2025. And college in this instance means focusing everything on what you really want to do. The last 4 years was about learning how to live in this world, the way that it is, and the way that our new realizations kind of come to, and how we deal with people, and how we deal with work, and all those types of things. So 2025 is going to be putting that all into play in a real way, like going to college and saying, okay, now I want to learn exactly this career or this type of thing. So it's an exciting time, I think, and I know that 2025 is going to be amazing. I have this feeling that there's this explosion of all kinds of amazing energy happening in 2025. So this is like the lead up to that, and October is the start of that from this point moving forward. So it's a really good time for everybody.
Wow. I love your analogy of the graduation piece. And 2025 is a 9-year. So here in 2024, we're in 8 years. So there is mastery. And I always like to say 8 is the last lap. It's the hardest year, or the hardest lap to get through, because you're exhausted, you lost your runner's high miles back, you're dehydrated, your muscles are screaming at you to just stop. Mentally, you just want to stop, but you also know, if I stop now, I'm going to have to go through the whole process again, and I'm going to end up right back here anyway. Yeah. So let me just finish the race. Let me just do what I got to do to get through to the other side. And so I think it's interesting that you're saying it's a graduation, because 9s are about endings, conclusions, resolutions, tying up loose ends. And 9 is big on service. It's a service number. So I think there's a lot of that co-creative processing that we're doing now that is really solidifying or honing in on what is my purpose? What am I choosing my purpose to be? There's choice, there's intention in this. It's not just, okay, I have to find my purpose. It's no, I'm creating my purpose.
And I think that's what the key to this graduation is. This last 4 years of living with the post-pandemic world has been about realizing that, before 2020, everybody thought they were stuck in whatever they had to do, wherever they lived, whatever they did. People have now found out that people work from home on Zoom. People changed their careers because they thought, if the world is going to be this scary, I'm going to do what I want. And, some people needed that push. And so after all of that happened, and then even the people that didn't do that, saw other people do it, and it became in their mind like, maybe that's it. Maybe I can do more than I am doing, or make more money, or do whatever it is. And so I don't know if we've realized the change that has brought about, but what's going to happen now is next year, everybody's going to take that knowledge and that experience of knowing that they can do and be anything and make it happen. And I think that next 4 years, up until 2029 or 2030, is going to be an explosion, not just individually. It's going to be an explosion of technology, an explosion of the way that we do things on the planet, not in this country or in our homes, but on the planet. Yeah, so we're going to see an amazing explosion, and we've all been preparing for the last 4 years on how to accept it, really, how to be able to ingest those changes, because before 2020 we wouldn't have even understood what was happening. We wouldn't have known. We needed to go through that. So it's really exciting.
Wow, I'm feeling hopeful hearing you talk. I'm feeling hopeful. I love that. All right, well, let's take a look at November. And November feels a bit sticky to me, just as I'm tapping into it. November feels sticky, but let's talk about that really quick. Sticky can be things that are sticking to you, like maybe you've made some major shifts or changes in your life, and they're sticking, they're working. Whereas before, maybe you tried to shift out of patterns and cycles, and you couldn't really get on the bandwagon with it. It wasn't something that you could be consistent with. Now there's a sticking, you're able to be successful at it. You're able to find a routine or bring that more into your routine. But sticky can also be, I like to say, it's a sticky wicket, where you're kind of having to maneuver and navigate and balance, and it's not a straight path forward. There are going to be, I keep seeing like the video games in my mind, right? Where you're having to dodge the different things that are coming at you in order to get to where it is that you want to go. So there's a stickiness to it. So let's see what we've got. Oh yeah. So October was 10 of Swords. Now we've got 9 of Swords. And our Oracle card is another Maya. So we are talking about that earth energy, the Amazon Queen, battle. I am a devoted warrior of the universe. Ooh, okay. So this isn't meant to be dun, dun, dun. November's going to be awful. What I'm feeling here is that November is going to be a month where your convictions are going to be tested. I want to say this is going to be a time to commit. What are you committing to? And I feel some extreme energy coming up. Again, the stickiness, right? So it's like go big or go home. It's like when you're faced with a shift or a change, it's not like, well, I could do this and then maybe I could wait on this part of it. No, it's you're all in or you're all out. And don't be worried about this energy. I feel almost like an empowerment that's coming through with this, almost like you feel a level of resolve because of this 9 of Swords. You're basically stepping out of the monkey mind cycle of nightmare and anxiety and stress and overwhelm, and you're saying, I'm done with that. I don't care about the little details. I am focusing instead on, again, that vision of where I want to see my life and what steps can I take to get there. And the battle, I am a devoted warrior of the universe. I feel like there's a real call to step outside of the sort of the matrix-ish component of life, and to really get into what is it that my soul really feels? What is it that at my core is the truth of what I know? Not the, I want to say, not the universal truth, not the truth of, sort of what we're seeing, out in the world, or what people tell us the truth needs to be. This is I want to say, a deeply personal, visceral knowing And I feel like that's why we're talking about convictions as well, because Nine of Swords can very much be representative of a person who is struggling on the mental plane. And we could say mental illness, but we could also say just mental confusion, mental exhaustion, not knowing which way to go. So when we have the warrior queen stepping up and she's saying, listen, cut the wheat from the chaff, throw all that bullshit out and go with what you feel in your heart and your soul is the right path for you, because it's going to be right for you. And when you're doing something that's right for you, you're doing right by the people that you're serving as well, because you're really focusing on filling your love cup. So I don't feel like this is an external battle, although we could say here in the US, November is the election. So there is a lot of energy there. We've got, the war in the Ukraine as well, and there are some situations that are happening there, the war in the Gaza thing. There's a lot of battle that is needing resolve, but you could say that you don't need to be psychic to know, we need to resolve it, duh. No, I feel like this is saying we have to make a choice now. So I feel that there is a lot of that energy, a lot of conclusion, resolution. And the resolution isn't always going to make everybody happy. Not everybody is going to fall on the side of right, or that your convictions are the ones that are going to be seen and heard. But whatever resolve there is, what that does is it cuts the nightmare out, and it gives you the freedom to say, okay, here is what we're dealing with. This is what it is. Now, with that information, we're not in limbo anymore. What can I do to move forward? And that, I feel, is what November is really going to be about. It's solidifying your convictions and really being able to make solid choices for yourself that release the past and allow you to move forward with confidence and with the resources required to make that happen. So, the Amazon Queen, she doesn't go into battle unprepared. She goes into battle with all of her wisdom and knowledge, and she brushes up on all of that so that when she's going in, she's using that strategy. She's confident in her survival skills and her thrival skills. So the universe is saying, listen, you've got what you need. You just need to really be present with the truth of what that is and resolved in what you're choosing to commit to, and commit to that path and follow it.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how when, everything you said is exactly what was kind of on my mind, and what it kind of goes back to October being Libra and air, which is about the mind and intellect and thought. Now, when we get into November, we're in the water sign of Scorpio, and water is about emotion and feeling. And so October is about the plan, making the plan. November is about feeling how to move forward, feeling how to make it work. And it's a no bullshit time. Scorpio doesn't like bullshit. They are very, Scorpio is about this or that. It's about being powerful. It's about being obsessed with what you want. And it can be a mysterious time as well. It can be a time that can be confusing for some people. And so the real key for November, I believe, is communication with yourself. It's being real with yourself, saying things to yourself like, is this really what you want? Is this really what you want to be a part of? And whatever it is that you're, doing and going through, it needs to be something that you feel really, because sometimes people do things not because they want to, because they think they have to. And that goes back to what I was saying about what we've learned post-pandemic, is that you don't have to do anything you don't want to. You can do whatever the hell you want and make it work somehow, especially in this country, why people are trying to get here from everywhere else on the planet. Because in this country, you can do whatever you want and do it wherever you want. And that is the beauty of where we live and what we do. So on November 4th, Venus enters Sagittarius, which is an amazing, adventurous time, which means, you know, the elections are over. Things kind of like subconsciously, we're all like moving into this new reality. And it's about taking on adventure and freedom, whether that's in your job, in your relationship, in a new place to live, and those types of things. And then on the 11th, we have a new moon in Scorpio, which, you know, that is all about diving deep into emotional and psychological processes. So that's what I mean about the you know, it being a time of emotion and feeling your way through what it is that you want to make happen. And then on the 19th, about, you know, more than halfway through the month, Mars enters Libra. And so it's all about balance, fairness, again, that comes back up. So you're going to reevaluate. So in October, you're evaluating and saying, what do I want? How do I get there? What do I deserve? In toward the end of November, you're going to reevaluate and say, how far have I come? Is this what I wanted? Is this where I want it to be? And in most cases, I think people are going to say, yeah, oh my gosh, I'm really making it happen, because this is going to be a time that's really easy to make things happen as long as you set your intentions, unlike any other time. And I think, again, that's because we're coming up to the end of 2024 and the beginning of 2025, which is going to be a huge year of realizations of things really taking hold and happening. And then on the 27th of November, we have a full moon in Gemini, which is all about communication, social interactions, those types of things. So all throughout November, it's about feeling your way to what you want and feeling the people around you, whether it's your family, your friends, feeling what their intentions are for you and your intentions for them, and that back and forth of emotional and social register. That's going to really make everybody kind of understand where they stand, no matter what's going on, whether it's good or bad or whatever, because it's a no bullshit. Like I said, it's like, you know. And then we'll get into, you know, at the end of November, the 27th, that is Sagittarius. And so with the full moon in Gemini, it's a magical time. I mean, it's again, you know, if Scorpio is no bullshit, Sagittarius is no bullshit times 10.
Oh, wow.
And, it's truth and honesty. And so, and to a fault. And I'm a Sagittarius. I can tell you, I put my foot in my mouth all the time, because I will say what's on my mind. I will always say the truth. And sometimes it doesn't need to be spoken. But
I did one of those, and I was like, okay, let's review those words that just came out of your mouth. Is that really what you meant?
Right. It can be a hard thing for Sagittarians. And then having that influence everywhere at that time is going to be, it's actually very cathartic, because even if you don't want to hear something that's truthful, it can be helpful. And better the truth than a lie, better the truth than holding back and all that. So in the end, it's a good thing, but it can be a little bit sticky, to use one of your words.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so the focus is on emotion and making those passions that you put into intention and into reality in October happen. And then, you know, as we get into December, we'll talk about the basking in the glow of all of that success.
Oh, well, let's see what those cards are. That's a great segue into December. So, yeah, wow. December definitely feels a bit lighter in its energy, but I still feel almost this, like toffee, like, you know, when you're making toffee, you're making caramel, you're pulling or string cheese. You know, we can even think pizza and mozzarella as it melts, it's string cheese. So it's hard to let go. I feel that stickiness from November is still kind of leaning in a little bit into December. And it's an opportunity to, again, like tie up loose ends, like, where is the stickiness? Then there's a pulling away from that I feel is coming into the mix. So You know, it's interesting that we got that battle card, the Amazon Queen, because I feel like she's going to lean in a little bit into December to say, I will take my sword and I will, you know, cut through that stringy cheese. I will cut through that toffee and get this show on the road. So when you do feel that like I'm trying to pull away and it's a long process, or it's challenging, I would say step more into the divine feminine warrior energy, which has a lot of forward momentum, and really just kind of own your truth. Be clear in what you've already resolved. This isn't about self-doubt and second guessing. It's about reiterating to the universe, no, that was then, this is now. Here's where I go. So let's see what
the truth part, you know, that's where you have to be truthful with yourself, and that becomes easy. Even if there's a whole bunch of crap going on at the beginning of December, what will be easy is telling yourself the truth.
Yeah,
it's very easy to people
because you've already done the work in November, so you already know the truth. Like, sometimes we resist the truth, and we resist because we're afraid of the pain or the responsibility of change, as you know, as a result of owning it. But once it's out there, you've accepted it. It is what it is. So just move forward with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So our tarot card for December is the Three of Coins. And I think this is really interesting because Three of Coins, again, it's our second three. I want to point that out as well. So again, there's that creative energy. It's the head, heart, soul, the mind, body, spirit that is coming together. There's a concept of wholeness here, but this is also about collaboration. And I feel like with what Dwayne was saying with the November astrology coming into the mix, December is going to be a time where you're clear on your path. And now it's about reaching out to the particular people who can help you to get where you're going, or that are going in the same direction as you. So I feel a lot of community energy here that's going to be coming up. And I know that's been a big theme for the last 3 years, is a lot of friendships and a lot of communities have broken apart, have fallen apart because frequency wise, energetically, there's been a shakeup, and we just can't go where certain people are going, and certain people can't go where we're going because it's just not part of our individual paths. And it doesn't have to be bad or ugly. It can be sad, obviously, you know, grieve and mourn the loss of what was, but understand that now in December, community is going to be a big thing. And I feel, you know, when you were talking, Dwayne, about the lightness, this is what I'm seeing is people are going to be more social. They're going to be meeting people of like minds, like hearts. There's going to be an ease and an effortlessness to making the connections that for the last 3 years have been really challenging to make and to maintain. And our oracle card is Merope, the Diamond Star, Destiny. I focus on service and follow my higher purpose. Well, isn't that interesting? The quarter, we've been talking a lot about service and that 9 energy. Now, this is a 5. 41 is a 5. So very much that a new foundation for yourself as an individual that leads to a transformative path. But when we talk about here with the higher purpose, and we're talking about this 3 of Coins or the 3 of Pentacles, what I'm feeling here in December is that there's this real energy around, I don't have to do this alone, in the ways that, as Dwayne, you pointed out, we're graduating. We've been going through high school, right? It's been a 4-year kind of journey. 2020 being the 0 year, being the, you know, sort of the explosion year, and then
orientation.
22, 24, exactly. So what's interesting about it is many of us can look back on our high school years and go, oh my God, like, so glad I'm not there anymore, right? And that's what I feel this is. December is basically saying you're through that graduation, you're celebrating that graduation, and now you don't have all of the rules that school was placing upon you. Now it's, you can connect, you can do that book report with somebody else. You know, you're not assigned the person that you have to be with. Now there's choice in who you want to interact with. You don't even have to do the frickin' book report if you don't want.
Right.
You know, it's the choice around where you're going next. And the service, the Diamond Star and the service piece, I feel I've been talking about that all the way through, is it's really this energy of, okay, I've chosen how I'm contributing. I've chosen my path and my purpose. I've rewritten my destiny, or I've confirmed my destiny, you know, whatever that happens to be. And I no longer have to be isolated in doing it. I'm now finding people that are on track with me, either to help me in some way to get there on my own personal journey, or again, they're part of the journey. They're on that same path or a similar path, and we're coming together to create the new. And I want to say, maybe this was the lightness that you were talking about. When we go through an elongated or an extended period of time where we feel disconnected, either disconnected from our community, disconnected from our family, our friends, disconnected from source, we lose our way. We forget where true north is. And I feel that December is bringing that to light. It's the, oh, here's my true north. I'm following my inner compass. I'm following my true north. So, and I feel like this is everyone. There's not a soul on the planet that's not going to have this experience or this realization. Everyone is going to be very clear on their true north and where things are shifting. And I feel like that ties into the energy of what you were talking about with 2025 being amazing, because I feel like there's more of a collective page, you know, being on the same page. And we can all do our different things on that page, but it's kind of like that page is like the umbrella. You know, I think about the business, you know, you can have an umbrella business and a number of different businesses and angles underneath that umbrella, but the umbrella shields all of those, you know, things and allows you to pursue whatever you want to pursue under that blanket or under that, you know, protective space. That's what I feel December is really highlighting for us, is the, all right, I'm not worrying about the bullshit anymore. Here's where I'm going. And I'm motivated to do it. And I thought I was going to have to do it alone. And yet I'm not. Here are my peeps, right? Here's how we're moving forward. And I'm still individual in my choices, but I also have this collective that is supporting me, that is behind me, that is foundational in helping me to get where it is that I need to be, because we're all getting to where we need to be collectively. We're on the same page. Wow. So now I'm talking about with the amazing, because I was not feeling it when you were talking about it at first. I'm like, what the hell? I can't imagine that.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, like you said, it's all about the collective consciousness in the beginning of December. And that's true astrologically, because on December 5th, Mercury enters Aquarius, which is all about thinking, how to help other people, new technologies, being innovative, being forward thinking, all of those things, social causes. So right off the bat, December 5th, we start to see that connection of the collection or of the collective consciousness, and how to connect with other people, which becomes so important. And then on the 9th, we have Venus in Capricorn, which is a little bit more of a serious take on things. So the beginning of the month is about connecting, is about, like you said, kind of understanding you don't have to do it alone. And then around the 9th, you're going to start to feel this seriousness for stability, for long-term goals, practical steps, things like that, which all kind of come back to Capricorn, and with a focus on romance or love. And that doesn't have to be for another person. It could be for yourself. But there's definitely a love kind of situation going on. And then on the 12th, we have the new moon in Sagittarius, which just inspires adventure, new horizons. It's a time to think big and embrace new experiences, and that will bring you into, you know, the coming year with a whole new sense of wonder, really. And then on the 21st, we go into Capricorn, and that is where it kind of brings around discipline, long-term goals again. So it's a revisiting of what you go on the first week or the second week in December. You have a little taste of that, and then you go into it more toward the end of the month again, into that practicality and how to make things happen. Because, you know, as we said, October is Libra, that's air. November is Scorpio, that's water. December is Sagittarius, that's fire. So fire is about doing things, burning up that energy, getting things done, producing. So while there was a feeling and thought for the first 2 months, this is about doing everything and really getting it done. And then on the 27th, we have a full moon in Cancer. So if that energy gets too practical and way too grounded, that Cancer moon is going to bring around that sense of emotion again, that connection with belonging and family and all of that kind of stuff. So that could be a little bit of a situation at the end of the month where it might start to feel a little bit too practical, too stale, too like too parental, if I can say. And then you kind of get into Cancer, which you know, does involve the moon and the mother energy, but in more of a sensitive way. And so it's December will be a little bit of a roller coaster, but it's as long as you know that it's going to go from fun, exciting, social, practical, back to fun, adventurous, and then back to practical. So it's like it's an up and down thing. But if you can go with those waves, then you can really create whatever you want and make it all work. So it's going to be an exciting December.
Wow. And where does the Pluto in Aquarius shift permanently occur in all of this? Because I know we are in retrograde again, so we're still in Capricorn. Pluto's in Capricorn right now. When does that officially shift into Aquarius for good for that 20-year cycle?
I believe that that's also in that time of December where we have that up and down. So it's toward the end of December. So we're going to see, that's why I think December is so kind of crazy, because there's so many pulls and shifts. There's a lot of really good connections, like the Aquarius and Sagittarius and the Mercury. You know, when you get Mercury, Aquarius, and Sagittarius all together, that's like Gemini, Aquarius, and Sagittarius. That's like a freaking party that you don't want to leave, you know? And then the parents come in to the basement and say, keep it down. That's when the Capricorn comes in, like, keep it down, everybody go to sleep, you know. That's that practical kind of energy. So it's interesting how it all works, you know?
Yeah. Wow. I love it. And we'll pull an affirmation for you guys to see what we need to step into for this quarter, and that affirmation that we can use to really sink our teeth into everything that it brings. Ooh, death is my homie. Death is divine. And of course, we've got a phoenix on here. I think that's perfect. So if you lived each day as if it were your last, how would your experience change? You probably wouldn't complain about the weather, whine about your job, or think things like, why can't I just catch a break? Instead, you'd be out raging in your undies in the middle of a rainstorm, climbing up an apple tree, shedding tears to the beauty of the natural world. You'd be yelling, "Cowabunga!" as you swing down from a branch into a puddle of glorious mud, the elixir of earth. You wouldn't be resentful or entitled. You'd be appreciative and full of love. The closer you hang to your homie, death, the more your moments come alive. Love that. So lean into that, because that makes a lot of sense with what we were talking about in terms of that graduation. Death brings about new beginnings. It's an ending that makes the new beginning possible. So that is our fourth quarter for October, November, and December of 2024. And wow, like I'm very, very curious to see how this is going to play out. Dwayne, tell everyone how they can find you and what you got going on for yourself.
Yeah, well, my website is down right now because my web carrier decided to triple the cost of my website, and I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. So as of right now, you can find me on all the social media, Dwayne Dunlevy, Dunlevy. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere that you might see me. Keone Productions, you can catch my show twice a month, In the Stars with Dwayne, and of course, the last Wednesday of the month with Stacey and I doing live readings, and you can join on there and just comment or talk to our producer, and you can get a free reading from both of us at the same in the same time. So it's all those places. That's where I am.
Fantastic. Yeah, and you can join us there. It's 12 noon Eastern Standard Time on the last Wednesday of every month, and we have a blast. And it's one of the highlights of my month. Truly, is knowing that, you know, the two of us are going to get on there, and then throwing Keone into the mix. I mean, it's just nothing but nonstop laughs and a little bit of irreverence, and you know, it's just right up my alley. So that's always very fun. Yeah, definitely check out Dwayne. He does astrology readings and tarot readings as well. So if you're looking for some clarity and guidance from him, definitely hit him up. And for me, of course, I'm the Black Feather Intuitive. And the one thing that I'll talk about is I've just released a new offering. It's called Love Alchemy, Transform and Attract. If you are that person who is sick and tired of finding narcissistic partners and partnerships, if you are tired of finding that unavailable person, emotionally unavailable or otherwise, if you are really looking for a partner, not a project, and you're ready to connect with that true soul connection, and where you don't have to bring that partner up with you, that you've got someone that meets you in the middle, check out this service, Love Alchemy. It's all about getting right to the heart of things and transforming it right in the moment, understanding clearly what it is that you're dealing with, doing the work so that you can leave all of that stuff behind. We've been talking a lot about that today, leaving things in the past, leaving that version of you in relationship in the past, and moving forward into the connections that you truly desire and deserve. So check out my website, theblackfeatherintuitive.com, and also all of my social media is the Black Feather Intuitive. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Feel free to like what you see here and click that bell and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share this with people that you feel could use this type of guidance. Dwayne and I love to do these collabs, and collabs are where it's at because you get a number of different perspectives. So that is our tarot and astrology for the fourth quarter, October, November, and December of 2024. Take care, guys. Transform well.
And happy cosmic graduation to everybody.
That's right. Yay!